So this post is actually an invitation for those of you who want to become Art of Mobility guides. So we're going to be doing a certification program. And the reason why this has come up for me and why I think it's mobility in general is probably one of the biggest opportunities. In 2006, my main interest was jumping higher. My fitness journey at that time was how to jump higher. It started out on a gravel road in a country house in Missouri. I was obsessed with trying to touch the net, then obsessed with trying to touch the rim. I'd watched Michael Jordan and other people float and defy gravity. And I was just so obsessed in this idea of I'm going to learn how to jump higher. And so I tried programs that worked or didn't work. I tried the shoes. I tried the plyometrics. I had college coaches and high school coaches. And when I eventually came to realize that jumping higher was a simple formula, and that if you followed that simple formula, the unavoidable result was jumping higher, I began to share my story online. And in sharing my story, it eventually became apparent that people wanted to follow that same path. And Jump Manual at the time was highly criticized. People would say, well, jump manual is too simple. There's a lot more complexity to it, because I'd taken the formula and I'd made it a simple routine that you did in 14-day increments. You did 14 days of work and then you repeated that same 14 days over and over and over again. And some people criticized it. But what happened is the simplicity of the jump manual is why so many people actually did it. Of course, a great majority of people bought the program and never did it. But the beauty of what happened with Jump Manual is that because of the simplicity, because of having someone to watch, go through it and answer their questions, and just to be a guide along the way with them. And here's where it got very interesting. I started a program with partnerships, and a lot of my partners could not jump high, could not dunk, but they simply shared their journey as they did the jump manual. Some of them got very knowledgeable and started their own products, which I was happy with. In fact, the second biggest vertical jump program at the time was essentially a program that I had ghost written for somebody else. And so this simple concept is what ended up sticking in a marketplace that was full of hype, that was full of expectations. And what I want to do with Art of Mobility is similar. So right now I'm looking for 10 individuals. I believe I've filled 3 of those spots already, but we're going to start our certification program with 10 individuals. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this very same concept that actually your journey into body freedom and mobility can actually be the foundation of a business. Jump Manual ended up doing 9 million in sales. Some of our affiliate partners who just shared their progress and shared their journey were making 6 figures a year just by sharing their jumping journey. Mobility is a massive, massive opportunity. So there's over 1.3 billion people who are considered not fit for rigorous physical exercise. The numbers and data is staggering, but the amount of information is an overload. You've got peptides and you've got TRT, you've got testosterone, you've got all these guys who show up and give you the idea of who you want to be, but behind the scenes, they're rusty and their body's cranky. And you've got yoga and you've got chiropractors and you've got devices and you've got pills and potions, and people are looking for the simplest solution. And what we are doing with Art of Mobility is we're providing a signal through the noise. We're giving a 15-minute ritual that has 2 sets of tools. It's easy to understand. It's easy to do. You can start at anywhere. And people aren't looking for the next yoga instructor who can get into positions that we can't even fathom. They're looking for regular people who are making progress on their journey. And so if you'd like to apply for being part of our partnership program for becoming a certified Art of Mobility guide, what we're going to provide you are the tools. So we're going to give you the certification and the information. We're going to give you a website where you can simply share and duplicate what's already been successful in this process. So you're going to have access to the tools. We're going to give you a coaching group so that as you start in this process, you'll have somebody to turn to. You'll know what works and what doesn't from actually people who are doing the exact same thing you're going to do. So the systems and the tools and the process that you're going to step into, they're not things we're trying to figure out. They're things that are already working. We already have the data now. It's what I'm going to be doing for the next 10 years. And so the partnership program is an opportunity to take this mission to another level, to let you be the leader in your circle. And by simply doing and being on your journey, doesn't matter if you're not far down the line. In fact, some people, that's who they need to see. So if you're ready to take your journey and become a leader and step into processes that already work and earn a great living along the side, this could become a side gig for you. So where you monetize your own journey and enjoy the process. This could also become the entry for other coaching you do. People who get into art of mobility sometimes end up becoming full-on life coaching programs for that person. They become relationship coaching. It can also become business coaching. So people come in from this place of being stuck physically, and there's other opportunities to engage with that individual. That may or may not be for you, but for some people, including ourselves, art of mobility was the entryway to very deep coaching relationships. If you're ready to explore that, if you want to see what that might looks like, or if you're just ready to you've kind of lost your way in the process and you just step back into your daily 15-minute ritual, DM me below. We'll go over what that might look like. The first 10 people that we get on board, I'm looking to create our what I call the Mobility Impact Council. These are people who see the vision that we're looking to reinstate mobility and movement freedom as a staple in modern life. And we've strayed from that in countries that have much less options, much less in facilities, much less in nutrients and potions and all these things. They're still moving better than we are because they have movement rituals as part of their daily life and necessity. And we're bringing that back in. I believe that this movement can be something that we can expect our kids to learn in school. It's something that our my son goes to a very nice private school, and it would it would be such a blessing for him if part of his schooling was he learned in 15 minutes a day how to keep, maintain, and expand the freedom he has in his body. This is something where I see public spaces being dedicated to doing art of mobility, to having a space where we're not frowned upon for doing some mobility work in public. We have smoking areas. We have areas to plug in and recharge our addictive devices. Yet, if you're doing mobility work in public, people are like, what's that weirdo doing? There's an enemy out there. And that enemy is we no longer live in a life where a mobility ritual is normalized. And we're looking for solutions in every possible place. We've all got folders and search history full of these potential silver bullet solutions. So this is kind of my first invitation, sending out to people who are already engaged with the process, who have seen how this can work and how this can be powerful. Comment below. We'll have a conversation, and either it'll make sense for you, or we'll get you back into your own ritual and get you making progress on your own. I know this is not something for everybody, but it's something that I'm extremely excited about. And as I saw the impact that it had when we worked with vertical jump training athletes, this opportunity is so much bigger and so much more impactful for what we can do for our lives, the lives of our communities and families and kids as we bring mobility back to modern life. So let me know if you have any questions. Give me a comment, and I will talk to you guys soon.